Hello everybody, welcome back to the Landedkiller show. Today I'll be giving my impressions of clan battles, as well as kind of giving my general thoughts on the state of the game currently. So this will be like a combination video. Since I have a good amount of footage to work with, I will be kind of doing both of those in this video. So I think that my clan needs to just take their time with learning the game. So I understand that it is a learning curve for this game. So I encourage you all, if you see my clan online, to treat them with respect, as they're all still learning the game. I'm still getting used to clan battles even myself. You know, this was my first time running clan battles too. I think personally they all did a good job for the first time at clan battles. Sure, we may not have done as great as we would have thought, but still, I think they did an awesome job in clan battles. You know, I appreciate all of them. Milo, Fluffy, Fun Time. Even the times when LT's with us, that's also good as well. My cousin's really cool. Just don't see him around that much. We had some good mercs running with us here. As you can see, the Andy Mux is running with us. With another ANZ 4C, the Peep Luku, I guess I think is his name. Yeah, I'm just so thankful that these guys just stepped in and just kind of gave us some direction in the clan battles. Hopefully we can run a couple more times with them in the future. Some members of my clan just aren't feeling the best at the moment, so just take a little hiatus in the clan battles until they get well again. But on the other side of things, you know, I kind of tried to play a defensive game. I was telling them, play defensively, play defensively. Obviously, they have an unedited version of this, which I let them have access to. So all the original audio from this battle has been stripped out and it's being replaced with my voice as I'm recording actually this. So yeah, just doing that to just protect their privacy, all that sort of nonsense. You know. And they are free to watch their unedited version as much time as they want. At this point with this game, you can see here we're kind of trying to get into position around things, and we're kind of just all going towards one cap here. We should have done in hindsight is we should have had maybe another player go towards cap A. Cap A in this case. Yeah. I think that this mode, I think my clan can master it in time. It's just going to take time to just kind of getting better with when to push, when not to push, all that sort of stuff. You know, honestly, they're mainly blitz players most of the time, so that's where their primary is. Ships is kind of secondary to them. Slowly getting the hang of the game. It's going to take them some time. As for our issues on live stream last night, I think it was a data issue on my end. For some reason, OBS wasn't sending enough data through to YouTube. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a software bug or what, but at the start of the stream, it was good data streaming. I've ran a couple of tests and I'm still having the same issues, so maybe sticking to recorded content until I can figure out what the issue is. I think it might just be the current version of OBS. I don't know. I gotta figure out and diagnose the issue. Maybe try streaming from the Streamlabs version of it, I guess. Maybe try that out and see if I can get that up and running. But that's not to say that there won't be live streams in the future. There'll be plenty of live streams in the future. I just think OBS is being silly. I don't know when the buffering started. I'm gonna guess it happened toward the last half hour of the stream. I'm gonna have to rewatch it and figure it out. But yeah. That Kaga match at the end ended pretty decently. We ended up winning it. It was a little co-op battle between me and Fluffy and some bots. Ended up winning that. A lot of people have been curious about my thoughts on the super carriers. I think that they're kind of still overpowered, but not as broken as the ships that can fire multiple salvos in a row. Still, Edgar's jets are too fast. Should rebalance the jets around USS United States, as that's a decent ship. Also, don't forget to like, watch, and subscribe to the video. It helps out a lot, and turn on that notification bell. Honestly, if we ever do get to the point where we have sponsorships on this channel, I'm going to try to shove them toward the end. I don't know. Unless it's something super short, but we're a long ways from even getting to 1,000 at this point, so I don't expect to have sponsors approach me until maybe I get a higher subscriber count. At this point in the year, my main focus is just going to be trying to deliver better content with you guys, trying to work on my delivery a bit more. But yeah, I don't have any issues with my content personally, but others have said that maybe I need to just work on my delivery more, which is what I'm going to try to do. I just can't watch the YouTube videos these days half the time that are out there from other creators because they just go too fast. There's like special effect every 5 seconds. It goes from doing one thing to the next thing to the next thing. That's kind of frightening when you think about it, because it's 12-year-olds which they're marketing their videos to. They obviously have the most free time on their hands. Most of us adults are working half the time. The only time we get to watch YouTube is at night. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Like, I am very scared for the next generation, honestly, because I think that this short attention span stuff is really going to affect them bad. Like, they're not going to think critically about something when they see it in the news, for instance. They're just going to be like, ooh, headline says this must be true, instead of actually taking time to actually look into it and figure out what's actually going on. I'm not saying that they're stupid by any means. I'm just saying that their attention span is going to be short, and they're going to be likely not to look in depth at things. That's what I'm saying. No. I think the younger generation is cool and stuff. The attention span thing is bad. It's not good. So going back for this clan battle, as you can see that at this point we're kind of being overtook at this point by a lot of the enemy team. It's kind of out of position here, but I'm trying to just help my clan along and having them learn things over time with the modes. So as our clan leader, I'm going to take responsibility on my part to run some more random battles with them at tier 6 and all that, and just try to improve ourselves a bit more. But we've got matched against a pretty highly skilled team here. These guys are pretty high up there. Yeah, I have no regrets about running this clan battle, as I've been wanting to run clan battles for over a month now, and I finally got the chance to do it, and I was excited. I was super excited just to be able to run them even once. And I think that my team can get there, my clan can get there eventually, to the point where we're getting good in these games enough to at least run into the not the Typhoon League quite yet, but we gotta work on our stuff in Squall and then work our way slowly up to Gale. We'll get there eventually. It'll just take a lot of time. You'll notice that I mixed in some decent music here. This is some music that's going to be going on to the new onto Killer film reviews eventually when I make another video. But occasionally I'll make appearances and videos that I make as well on the other channels, as I'm trying to make whatever assets I have spread out across the channels to help the channels out as best as I can. Whenever I have something specifically made for one channel and I'm able to use it on the other channels, I'm going to. Which is why the intro was sounding different, because that's going to be the new intro for Killer Film Reviews. Eventually the idea is to have each channel have its own unique music and a unique sound. Eventually. It's a work in progress, right? I'm not sitting there and telling the guy that I have making it rush, because that's not how music production works in my eyes. Music production, in my eyes, should be a slow, carefully planned process where you take your time to get the right sound. If you sit there and rush it too much, it's not going to turn out good. You know, I think he did an awesome job on some of the tracks in here. Yes, we got a couple of YouTube audio library tracks in here. I believe it was... There's a little bit of URL melt in here and some digital ghosts from what I'm seeing on my screen here. So sometimes I'll take time and I'll just kind of just do voiceover in Premiere Pro when it's convenient, because the original audio, of course, was our reactions at the time, and I feel that should just remain private in between the clan. I'm not going to try to put stuff out there unless the clan wants me to at this point. live stream wise, we seem to keep running into issues with voice feedback on the Discord coming into the stream itself. I do apologize for that. That's why I ran the last stream mostly solo, because I don't want to sit there and have that feedback coming into the live streams and you guys have an awful hearing experience from it. This battle we did a little bit better with, I would say. Still, we're kind of all over the place a bit. Honestly, with these battles, it takes time to really learn them, as we're finding out here through this battle itself. We ran like a third one that night too, but I don't feel like you guys want me to drone on for another 10-20 minutes out, because this is already going to be a decent video in itself. This is kind of like the what do I think of clan battles / my current impressions of the game. Right now, with my current impressions of the game, I feel like Wargaming is really doing a terrible job with listening. I feel like they need to do a better job of listening what the players want and holding back the subs until they're properly tested. My gut feeling tells me that these subs are going to be released in patch 11.5. I don't know I don't know why, but I'm thinking patch 11.5, these submarines are going to be fully released. Because they're going to take some time to test them again, then they're just going to release them. I'm even surprised at the super ships being released, honestly, into the game so quick. I understand Satsuma and Hanover, because those have been tested the longest, but stuff like USS United States and Edgar are not ready for release, in my opinion. I feel like those carriers are overpowered in their jets. I've seen what they can do, I've played with the ships, I know they can rack up a bunch of damage. But yet we have premiums like Kaga and Saipan that are really far behind when it comes to the amount of damage they can output. The planes that you sit there and fly with on those get chewed up really easily by AA, and it's really ridiculous that it's been almost 2 years now and Wargaming hasn't addressed this. In my opinion, Saipan and Kaga and their variants should be buffed up a little bit, at least to have more health on the planes. Right now the Russian carriers completely dominate over them, and it's ridiculous. Kaga and Saipan have been in the game ever since like 2016 or 2017 from what I remember. They deserve to sit there and get some buffs. Not be left in this awful nerf state that they're in now. I'm not saying buff them to the point where they're overpowered, but buff them so they're at least workable. Saipan's probably the worst. That's why I was so negative in my San Zong review, because I really couldn't land that many hits. And I was struggling. But yeah, carriers are in a terrible state still, and they want to sit there and mess with spotting next when they still haven't figured out their super ships or their submarines yet. It's ridiculous. Wargaming needs to slow the hell down and focus on fixing balance issues first with submarines and super ships if they're so intent on putting them in the game. That needs to be addressed first. I'm sorry. And honestly, I think the game is going in the wrong direction. I think that the introduction of super ships is trying to appeal to the Russian cluster of the servers. Obviously, you all know about the previous actions that Russia has taken to invade Ukraine. And it's just sad every day watching this turmoil play out. My sympathy goes out to those that are affected, whether they be refugees or the ones directly involved in the fighting. This fighting must come to an end. It's just ridiculous. We are in 2022 and we're having Russia act like it's 1912. It's ridiculous. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's on the level of World War II yet, but if more countries are invaded by Russia and China joins in, then yeah. At that point, we basically are at another world war. And I hope that we can avoid that at all costs. Obviously, it's a sensitive topic with Wargaming having developers in St. Petersburg and having developers all over the world. Having staff in Ukraine, having staff around the world. Let's be fair and say that they donated a lot of money to the Red Cross, the Ukrainian Red Cross specifically. I think it was a huge amount too, at least $1.5 million, I want to say. So they are aware of what's going on. They're just taking a more neutral stance in the matters. They don't want to piss off Russia and have their devs like locked up and whatnot, you know, because they could do that because Russia has their secret police and all that. But yeah, honestly, at this point, you know, clan battles good. We just need to work on them more with the game. At this point, I think they're kind of running out of ideas. So they're throwing everything at the wall and they're hoping something's going to stick and drive up server growth again. Honestly, as a closed beta player, I find these super ships and these submarines to be laughable in their current states. I feel like they need more time to be tested before they get fully released. I'm sorry. Now the battleships, I think those are okay for live release. The cruisers, not so much. They need more time in testing. Carriers especially need more time in testing because they can go super fast and they can take out targets just like that. How am I supposed to defend against jet aircraft in Musashi? I can't. I'm literally going to be dead because the planes are going to sit there and overwhelm me because they're so fast and my AA is so slow. Super ships belong in a modern tech tree. They don't belong with the artillery ships at tier 10 and below. I'm sorry. Somebody's got to say it. Little White Mouse isn't saying much against it. Maybe she's given up this matter, but I'm going to just say it. Super ships do not belong in World of Warships. They belong in World of Warships too. Honestly. Seriously. Until you take the time to develop a modern tech tree, separate from the artillery tech tree, they should not be in the game. But I know that Wargame is going to ignore this video and they're going to steamroll them in the game anyway, despite players protesting. Same thing with submarines. You're going to steamroll them into the game despite players saying we don't want them. Honestly, submarines should be limited in their modes. They should be limited to co-op and to convoy modes only, and not into randoms of the competitive formats, until they're fully tested and fully balanced. And they're not there yet. So I'm telling you, Wargame, straight up, do not release these submarines in their current state into the game. Please take more time to test these concepts internally. It's fun to play as a sub for sure, but fighting against one is terrible. You got no counterplay whatsoever. I'm supposed to randomly run around in caustic with depth charges and hope I hit them? Even with Hydra, with how you nerfed it now, I can't even find the darn subs half the time. Because they're already on the other side of the map by the time I even turn them on. Granted, I can detect them at certain depths, but not all the depths. But seriously, this just needs to change. Can't stress this enough about how a lot of people are thinking that this is just a quick, cheap ploy to get new players into the game without thinking about the longer-term players that actually put bank into the game. You can't retain new players if they can't even have fun when they're not playing subs. I'm sorry. You need to cater to the older players too. The ones that have been around since the beginning, like me. You can't ignore us. It's not right. You need to take time to reconnect with us older players and start reaching out to us, Wargaming, and stop rushing all these half-thought-out ideas into the game. You can't tell me that Zorky's not overpowered in its current state, for instance. That thing can put out so much high explosive, it's ridiculous. Honestly, the entire game feels like it's at a crossroads. How many more changes do we need to have in the game? And please, no camo changes. Leave camos as they are. We don't need more ridiculous changes this year. Submarines and super ships are enough. I wish people would sit there and hashtag on the Twitter, hashtag super ships and subs are enough. No more radical changes. Because honestly, that's how a lot of us feel right now. We keep ripping up the carpet and wanting to sit there and make things harder to get. It's not right. You already got rid of free XP ships quietly with the Research Bureau. You think we didn't notice? You should have kept Nelson in the game. But no, you had to take her out. So many patches ago. Players want more scenarios. They don't want super ships. They don't want subs. They want scenarios. They want new modes that are fun and engaging. I know Dirigible Derby was fun. That should be in the normal modes and not Epicenter. You should replace Epicenter with Dirigible Derby. Let the lower tiers play it. Honestly, you guys got a lot of listening you need to do, and clearly you didn't learn your lesson from last time on the way. So my ask of you, Wargaming, as a content creator, is that you guys slow down on the submarines and take your time to test them and do not put them right in the game as they are now. I know you're going to put super ships in the game anyway, but still. Your carriers, not ready. They're not ready in the slightest. And please, take your time to actually buff up the old carriers, Kaga and Saipan. They're so outclassed now, it's ridiculous. Bobita in the Russian victory can outclass Kaga and Saipan both. It's ridiculous. Chakalov can outclass Saipan and Kaga Black both. And normal Kaga too. Saipan Black, Sun, Zong, all of them outclassed by Russian carriers. It's ridiculous. You need to take some time and reevaluate those carriers and buff them up. It's not funny. You've had it over 2 years. It's time to make changes that actually are wanted by the player base. Overall, I like clan battles and I enjoyed running them with my clan. Hopefully we'll run them again in the future when people are feeling better. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you for watching.